welcome to another Doctor Who Classic Series review. In today's review, I'm looking at the 3rd December release of the Classic Series exclusives from Forbidden Planet and Underground Toys, which is the Enemies of the Third Doctor box set, consisting of an Auton from the Spearhead from Space, Omega from the Three Doctors, and a very interesting hand puppet of a Drashig from the Carnival of Monsters. So, this is the first Third Doctor release since, I think it must probably be the Time Warrior box set, actually. It's got 2 really cool figures in it and a third interesting thing. And I'm going to talk to you about these now individually, but I'm going to start off with the Auton and make my way through until we get to the Drashig at the end. So, let's begin by looking at our Auton, which is a really good figure. It is great. It is fantastic. I've been waiting for Autons for ages, and they finally brought one out, and it's really good. It is really, really good. So, again, let's start off with the articulation. The head can't really do a 360. It's a bit stiff. It can turn from side to side. Shoulders can do 360s. Articulation at the elbows. The wrists can do 360s. Articulation at the waist, which can also do a 360. Articulation at the hips that go up and down, out to the sides. In fact, I don't think they can really sit them down properly. Again, because there's this sort of rub here, and I don't want to do that. And then articulation at the knees. The body of this figure is actually Captain Jack Harkness. And to just show you, it is in fact that Captain Jack Harkness. It's the same body, but they've just retooled it slightly. And what they've done is they've changed the buckle here, whereas on Jack is on the side, is now in the middle like the Autons should have it, and the RAF symbol here is gone. Other than that, it's all the same. Oh, and of course they've replaced the neckerchief for the scarf. But other than that, it's exactly the same. Oh, and of course the hands are different. So other than that, it's exactly the same. And of course the head. Now, this is really cool. It's a great figure. I'm going to start off by just looking at a bit of the detail. There's not an awful lot of detail on it because of what it is, but the face is excellent. I mean, it looks like an Auton. I mean, they've really... It just looks like the Autons in that story. Really cool. They've sort of... The eyes are slightly further back, and they've given them a dark wash, so it does look like they are just sort of empty sockets, because obviously the Auton masks had sort of netting, like tights, on the top. I would show you my replica mask, but it's in the other room. And they've captured that really well. It does look like, well, it just does look like the Autons from that story. Scarf's really nice, just one colour. I hope they do release other Autons with like maybe different patterns on the scarf like they do. Obviously the boiler suit is just a dark blue. The hands, just like a straight karate chop hand. Does have an interchangeable hand, I'll talk about that in a second. But the gun hand, well, the interchangeable hand is like exactly the same as the other one. Obviously different hand. The gun hand here is really nice. You've got the nozzle there. You've got all this detailing on the hand. You've got sort of the 2 holes there which have been painted on, the red wire, the little yellow bits. It really is great attention to detail, and it does look really, really nice. It looks so much better than the new series Auton hands. And the boots are silver, which I'm really happy about, because in the press release images, the prototypes just had Captain Jack's black boots, and I thought, crap. The one thing that's going to ruin this figure is the fact that they painted the shoes wrong. They're quite clearly silver in the story. But no, they didn't. They painted them right, so well done to Character Options. Now, I mean, some of you may think, oh, it's just an Auton, it's not really nothing special. But I really do like the Autons, and this is really, really cool. I mean, the gun just looks amazing. Just looks really, really, really fantastic. I mean, I'm definitely going to be buying some more of these on eBay loose, because they're just too good. I'd buy another box set, but it's very pricey, and I don't want another Omega. So I just pull the gun hand out. Get out. Thank you. Oh, I just threw his other hand away. I think the nesting consciousness is trying to take over. Get in there. There we go. So, and that's just a normal hand. This is much better than that stupid bleeding thing that they used with the Rose Autons, which was that weird twisty finger thing, which didn't even resemble the gun of an Auton. Obviously, they were just trying to make it, I don't know, more fun for kids, I guess, so you could twist the fingers. But that doesn't happen with the Autons. The fingers drop down. So I'm so glad that they actually did it with this one. They actually used an interchangeable hand. And obviously, like I said, these are more intricate than the new series Autons. Well, the Rose Autons, because obviously the Autons in the new series have hands more like this again, with crap sounds. And when I say crap sounds, I mean generic laser gun sounds. Also comes with this, which is a nesting control sphere, or control unit. I'm a bit... Well, I don't really know what to say about this, because there is some sort of detailing on it, but at times it just looks like a blob of pink plastic. You can see there that there's some sort of sculpting, but it does just look like a blob of sort of sort of like a pink clear plastic. It probably is actually too pink than what it is in the program. It doesn't look as bad actually on camera. It looks slightly lighter, but in real life it does look rather dark. It doesn't look as light as it does in the program. But it's nice. It's a nice little addition. I'm glad that they did add the nesting control unit. That is really cool. So let's look at Omega. I'm going to have to zoom out because he is a very tall figure. He is taller than the tallest male figure, which is Jon Pertwee. I think he's probably the tallest human-looking figure. And when I say human, yeah, you know, I mean the fact that Jon Pertwee was a human being. Please don't anyone post at the bottom, "Oh, but the Third Doctor's a Time Lord, he's not human." Yeah, I'm fully aware of that. But I know some pedantic sod's going to want to post that. So I'm just covering my back. He is taller than Jon Pertwee by a substantial amount. This is also a very interesting figure on the basis of this. It isn't plastic, it's actual cloth. It's proper fabric. Same goes on the arms. This is all fabric. Now, I'm going to come out and say that I hate cloth material on figures. I don't mind it on 1/6 12-inch figures, because obviously there's not really much you can do with that, but it looks okay. But on figures in this scale, and like 3 3/4-inch figures as well, it can look crap. It can look out of scale, it can look terrible. But saying that, Omega doesn't look too bad. Omega looks pretty good. It is quite thin. I mean, if you hold it up to the light, which I'm about to do now, so excuse my messy room, I know you can't see it. If you hold it up to the light, you do see through his clothes, which is a bit of a worry for Omega. It is just sort of like netting with the glittery bits threaded through, almost like tinsel-y sort of things. And it looks exactly like the robes on the program. I mean, I can't question that. It does look very good. They've spot on. It is almost like they have shrunk Omega down from that story and put him in a box. But my worry is that this stuff isn't going to last, that the glittery stuff's going to fall out or something, because that can happen with sort of flocking and things like that. For those of you who know Moss Man from He-Man, he's covered in green furry sort of flocking, and that falls off after a while, you know. But I mean, I think that would probably only happen if you're playing with it. So if you're a child and you're going to be playing with Omega and chucking him around and whatever, then that is a possibility that could happen. Obviously, I won't be doing that. He's just going to be stuck in the glass cabinet looking cool. So it does look really nice. I'm going to just quickly talk through the articulation because I realise I haven't done that yet. The head can't really turn. Then again, it doesn't really need to. It turns like a little bit, but it doesn't really turn properly. He has articulations at the shoulders. I believe they're ball jointed, actually. Yeah, they are. They're ball-jointed shoulders. He's got articulation at the biceps. Can't really do a 360 because of the cloth, and to be honest, I don't really want to do it and break it. Oh, here we go, folks. Just as proof about this worry about the glitter, look at that. A piece has just fallen out as I'm doing this review. So you really do need to be very careful with this one. Don't move it around a lot. Don't play with it a lot. Don't touch it at all, because I do worry that this is going to happen. That is why I don't like cloth stuff. Why they couldn't have just done a plastic robe and painted it with glittery paint, I don't know. But be warned that, obviously, this tinsely stuff may fall out. So don't move him around too much. So he has ball-jointed sockets. I'm a bit scared to touch him now. He does have ball-jointed shoulders, articulation at the elbow and at the biceps. His wrists here, well, his forearms really, also do 360s. Again, I'm a bit cautious about moving it because, looky here, it's starting to fall out again. So be warned that this figure could end up losing his glitteriness over time, especially with lots of use. He does have articulation at the waist, and it does do a 360. Articulation at the hips that go for up and down, left, up and down and out to the sides, and articulation at the knees. And he has feet articulation as well. These do 360s. Does he have thigh articulation? No, he doesn't. It is just legs. Quick look at the mask, the detailing. Really nice. Excellent, in fact. It is a spot-on recreation of the mask. The textures, the colouring, the bit on the back looks really good, just like it. The body does seem to be a bit bronzer than the rest of him. I don't know if that's good or not. Looking at the picture, I don't think it really should be necessarily that much of a different colour than the rest of him. But it does seem to be slightly bronzer than the rest of his head. But he still looks really cool, so I don't really care. He does look very, very nice. It does look spot on. He does have a special feature, which is this. Oh dear, Omega no longer has a head, like in the programme. Warning to you all, putting this head back on is a bugger, because I took it off straight away. As soon as it came out of the box, I was like, oh, let's see what this is like. And then I was like, crap, I can't get the head back on. And I think it does even cause a bit of paint rub around the neck, which is a bit of a shame. And as you can see, there's no plug or anything. This technically is the plug, because he has no head, so they've just filled it in with a plastic plug sort of stump bit there. So then you just push this in. I'm really trying desperately not to touch the robes, because I don't want any more of that tinsely stuff to fall out. Oh no, it went on quite easily this time. And I know what you're all wondering, what's Omega wearing under his robes? Now I initially just thought he'd be wearing, so it would just be like a blank body. But actually, it's far more interesting. I never thought I'd be saying that about what does Omega keep under his robes. Oh, it's very interesting. If we look at it, it's got this weird sort of armoured pattern, like these little knee pads and things, and gold little feet. Now, initially I thought, oh, I wonder if that's like an Arc of Infinity Omega body. And I had a look on the internet, and no, it's nothing like the Arc of Infinity Omega body, so no, it's not that. What it is like, though, if you have seen the Three Doctors, you'll know about the dark side of Omega's mind. Remember when he goes, the dark side of my mind? That bit. And John Pertwee fights this goblin-esque, scary-faced version of Omega with, like, little pointy ears and things. Well, it looks like the body of that. So, which has led me to hope that we'll be seeing a figure of that at some point. So, there we go. Omega, really good. Lovely figure.